So I love Dungeons and Dragons a lot, and I think the reason why I love it so much is it is just shocking how powerful it is and do at doing the unexpected. It just comes out, and so this is the deck of many things. And I think what is astounding to me is just how powerful this is in what it accomplishes. So a lot of people roll up on my channel and they say, Scott, why do you constantly um, compare Dungeons and Dragons to religion? And I think my answer back is, why don't you? Like, it's so clearly a secular parallel to religion. And so one of the things that I'm really excited about is this is the first time as an evangelical Christian I've ever had the spiritual to practical swing go my way. So let's talk about what I mean. All right, so Easter's coming up, right? And the pagans come up and they're like, "Oh, hey, everybody's celebrating Jesus. We don't want that. Let's say that Easter is about bunny rabbits and eggs." Right? Like, and they're like, wait a second, whoa. This is sacred to us. This is really special to us, right? And they're like, no. We're just going to make it practical. It's just going to be a fun thing about rabbits and eggs going forward. And as Christians, we're like, wait a second, what are you doing here? You're killing us. Like, this isn't fair, right? And but this is one of the first times, and Dungeons and Dragons brings it to me, right? Where I'm on the winning end, right? So this is based off of a tarot deck, right? But it's been completely severed from all of its spiritual. Like, they took out the major arcana and replaced it with things that are specific to Dungeons and Dragons. And so now this spiritual thing that used to be really sacred to people would literally make decisions that, were critical to their life based on what was divined for them, right? And like they would pay a lot for it. There were experts involved. It was really spiritual, and it was quite sacred. But now it's just completely practical, right? And so now this is given to every Dungeons and Dragons player, and every single day you can use this thing to determine an inspiration for the day, an aspiration for the day, a goal, an observation for the day. And it's the first time in my life as a sacred person, right, not a secular person, where something that was sacred has now been made secular and useful. Really unique, extremely different, right? And it comes from Dungeons and Dragons, and no one expected it. No one expected these cards to come out and be so powerfully beautiful, to be so. You just saw all 22 of the cards, right? And to be so practical, to be so exciting, and so and such a joyful, secular, practical, useful thing. So I love Dungeons and Dragons so much, and the reason why is you cannot predict it. There's no way to know what's going to happen. And why is that? Because of Gary Gygax. Gary Gygax he was the third most important person in American history, and that means American history. That means world history, because America has surpassed every other country in the world because of freedom and liberty. It's George Washington, it's Harriet Tubman, it's Gary Gygax, and from the grave he calls to Mackenzie Darmus, he calls to Christopher Perkins, and he says, "Do more, do better, do different, do unusual." Right? When I say imagination, I mean it. Deliver. Right? It's powerful. And it's incredible. And there's really nothing like Dungeons and Dragons. Every single word you just heard is my humble opinion. Nothing more, nothing less. But the important part is when I hear your humble opinion. When you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.